Oh, hi. Sorry. Didn't see you there. Let's get back to some Polybridge. So I think this time we're probably only going to do World 1.15 and 1.16. I believe I have 1.15 already done, and I just want to show you some things about hydraulic phases. It's not that well documented, and it can be kind of confusing. Then we will probably do 1.16 live. Maybe near the end of the video, depending on how long I end up recording for. I may show you something about World 3 and give you a quick preview of what's coming in the next video. Anyway, let's get back into World 1 and finish this off. So if I remember correctly, this fire truck is quite heavy, and did I have a saved one? Nope, okay. So, we're gonna do it live. Now this is quite the long span. Let's take a look. And so 20 meters, pretty much. I don't think a regular truss is going to help, but I think what they're expecting you to do is use these anchors to do some underbracing, which we'll certainly do. But for starters, let's just get out our trace tool here, and we'll just fill this in with regular road. Okay. We'll just start building with wood. I just got to make sure auto triangulate is on with R. And let's see what we can do about... well, that's interesting. So we actually are not going to be able to do what I thought here. Alright, fine. And let's delete these two. Copy and flip this. And then we'll just over-truss the rest of this and just see what happens. Again, 60 degrees is the target. Okay, and then we'll just copy this. Oh, I flipped that, but whatever. And then... So what I'm totally expecting here is that this is just not going to be strong enough to handle this fire truck. And I may have to put in reinforced road, or I may just have to put in road where there's wood right now, or, dicker with some of this stuff, maybe move these points around a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Should be interesting either way. Got a red. Those are already super red, yeah, so... I do wonder, if I just make these triangles as big as I possibly can, will that give us enough strength? And we will nuke all this. Copy that. Alright, let's see what happens. I mean, it's better, but it's still... Yeah. So, I think the first thing we should try here is just to replace this with road, because road is stronger in compression than wood is. So I'm going to hold down W to get my eraser, erase that, and then we'll just road this. Now, I suspect butterfly effect is going to come in, and there's going to be something else that breaks first now, because something else is weaker. Like maybe something in this span or whatever, but let's just find out. Wow, okay. So, I mean, you probably already see what's coming here, right? If single members are not strong enough, well, let's just try reinforced road, because it's even stronger in compression. And this is such a short piece. Okay. So that's the butterfly effect I was talking about, where we made this strong enough, but now that's not strong enough. And again, this is just totally for a giggle. I want to see what happens if I put reinforced road here. My guess is now that we're going to get butterfly effect again, and this is going to break. Yeah. Okay. One more try here. We will try reinforced road for this. Nuke all this. Copy and flip. Okay, now there's at least some chance this might hold up. The big test will be when it gets to the middle of the bridge. Yep. If I had steel, I would absolutely do way more steel. But now here's the problem. Reinforced road is, although it's strong in compression, it's also quite heavy, so we've added a lot of extra weight to the very middle of the bridge, and that's not a good thing. Yeah, we'll see. Again, butterfly effect may take over and either that guy or that guy might fall, but let's just find out. And now I feel like a total moron. So, yeah, we'll see how much actual strength this adds. I feel like this is really just adding a lot of weight and not adding very much strength, but whatever. We're still way under budget, so... I didn't see the max stress. Did you guys see what it was? 92.7? I'm fine with that. There's probably a more efficient way to do that, honestly. For 18,000 out of 25,000, I'm more than fine with that. You can see a lot of people did, like, doubled members or muscles, which makes perfect sense. The other thing that you could, of course, do is you could try and make this even longer. You could put even more reinforced road or even more wood under here to try and support this node instead of just this one, but this is fine by me. Let's just move along. Oh my god. Have I been in World 3 this whole time and not even known it? Oh my god, I have been. Alright, so I guess this is as good a time as any to explain what I was going to explain at the beginning of the video, which is I did a bunch of stuff in World number 1, but I'm doing it faster than I can film and edit it. And so I've been working on World number 3 instead. So you just got World 310 for free in this video, and I have actually some things to say about the previous levels in World 3, but I didn't want to get into World 3 until I had shown you all of the stuff I had done in World number 1s. Let's jump back to World number 1, like I claimed I was going to do at the beginning of the video. We'll finish out World number 1, and you guys just got World 310 for free in the video, so lucky you. Okay, here we go. 113, redraw. Another drawbridge, no cheating now. Now, I don't think that I saved this one, but, well, let's see. Now, okay, so here's what I did the first time I went through this. I actually... well, I'll tell you, but then I'll try and just show you, because it's better to show than tell. That's the first rule of filmmaking, right? What I did was I used hydraulics to actually pull upwards using this point. So let me just put the road in here. I'd like it to be even if possible. So let's go ahead and whip out the trace tool. So these guys are going to come up in the middle, but the way that I'm going to do it is by using hydraulics back to this point to pull them up. You could absolutely push upward from down here if you wanted to, but I just worried that would interfere with the boat, whereas if I do truss from here and hydraulic back to here, you know, that's going to work. So I think I did have to use some steel, but we'll burn that bridge, pardon the pun, when we get to it. I gotta tell you, I actually wish there was a, I don't know what you would call it, like an auto-triangulate feature? But they have auto-triangulate. What I mean is Warren Truss, something that would just, you could highlight all this, and just tell it, just build me a Warren Truss above it with whatever my current material is selected. I wonder if there's a mod for that. You know, this game has a lot of mods, but I don't actually know what any of them are. Okay, so I expect this is going to be able to hold itself up no problem, but let's just quickly simulate and see. Yeah, no issues at all. Not until the boat comes. Okay. Now, if I'm going to use this as my hinge point, well, clearly this has to be a joint, right? So we'll hover over that, hit J to make that a joint. And this arrangement of these members staying together because they're all number 1, and these staying together because they're all number 2, that's going to be just fine. Clearly, this is going to have to go away, because if these two are going to hinge up, then you can't have that piece of wood connecting them. And I think also this is also going to have to go away. If this whole piece, including that triangle, is going to hinge backward, then you can't really have this here either. In fact, let's just build half the bridge. Well, you know what? Yeah, so I don't want to have to redo this joint, so I'm just going to leave that there, but then I'll copy everything that I do over here. I think we're going to need probably one little bit of reinforcement under here. And I think, because this is a relatively short span, I think we're going to get away with using wood to do it. So let's just... So Instead of doing it like this, which would put that thing in tension, I'm going to do it like that, which puts this little bit in compression. And wood is stronger in compression than tension. Okay. I can dicker with this a little bit, but that's fine. Now we just need to get our hydraulic from here to here. Okay, so it doesn't want to let me do that. I may have to cut this in editing because I'm flailing pretty badly here. Alright, well, let's just see. I think, if I remember correctly, hydraulics are super expensive per meter, and I don't need all this hydraulic. I can probably... we'll find out. Let's just see if this works at all. Let me turn on the grid. We kind of want these to go up just about 1 meter. So we would kind of want our hydraulic to be about 2 meters long, and it would only contract by 1 meter. Can we just do this the way that we did it before? Because these trusses are big enough. Contract by exactly 1 meter. Yeah, let's do it. So I think what I had to do with steel was I had to steel from here to here. But I'm not going to put those in yet. I want to see if it actually fails. Okay, now let's see. Should be just tall enough. I can't believe that worked. I don't think that was actually tall enough. Okay. Oh, I can't believe that actually worked. So when I tried this before, the bridge was too weak, and it couldn't actually hold itself. 99.9% stress. I'm going to do something about that. We're well below budget, because we made much shorter hydraulics. So I am just going to steal some of this stuff down here. Because this is what I saw was sort of like the highest stress. Wow. Well, we're still plenty under budget, and these are looking surprisingly weak to me, so just for a giggle, we're going to steal this, but we're going to wood this. Oh, I love that. 50% stress? Still $750 below budget? I can't tell you how happy I am about that. That's like optimal. Let's move along. Alright, land brace. This is one that I was really worried about because I was figuring like I'm really gonna have to explain the crap out of this. When red joints aren't available, try bracing against something else. So they're trying to teach you to do a brace against the wall here by making a little triangle and a node that pushes in. We've already seen this in previous videos. The thing that annoys me about this level is this stuff right here, static collides with vehicles, right? But what about this right here, this sort of horizontal, almost road-looking thing? Well, you know this stuff is static and it collides with vehicles, but what the hell about this? The first time I did this, did I save it? No, okay. Basically, I built a bridge all the way across because when you hover over this, it doesn't give you the little tooltip that says static collides with vehicles. So, really bad design. I don't know what they were thinking, like, oh yeah, people will just assume that that's... No, I'm not going to assume anything, fuck you. Get your level design right. We'll just do... I guess we'll do this one by hand. Doesn't really matter, but... I think that's probably going to do it. There is going to be some flex in this, so that will come down a little. But this motorcycle is pretty light, and it's not going to be on here for very long. And then we will do... Let's see. Actually, one trick that I saw someone else do is you just put this anywhere at the start, and then you use your left shift and move node to move it back until it's actually colliding. And then we'll do a muscle-ish thing there, and another muscle-ish thing there. Now this by itself I don't believe is going to hold its own weight, but let's just simulate and find out. Yeah, okay. It barely holds its own weight and does not hold even the 2 polygram weight of this motorcycle. We're just going to do another brace down here. And then we'll just move these wherever we feel like, really. And I think, yeah, we can make this a little bit bigger now. And this, I believe, again, I'm just moving these until I feel like everything is going to be in compression, as wood is so much stronger in compression. Okay, now I think we've got everything in compression, and there should be tons of strength in this thing. I don't anticipate any trouble at all. Looks like maximum stress 40%, 5,000 of 8,000 budget. Super happy about that. Just beware that, you know, the level doesn't bother to tell you that this little wooden bridge part here collides with vehicles. Hydraulic management. Now, this is the one where you finally get to use the hydraulic controller. And the hydraulic controller is a thing that allows you to decide which hydraulics are going to move during these hydraulic phases. I may have to skip forward the construction of this during editing. We'll see. Unless I saved this? Nope. Okay, so as it said, you've got 3 different cars, and the blue cars go to the bottom checkpoints down here. And the red car has to go to the top checkpoint. I guess there's definitely more than one way to do this. You could build a whole bridge that goes from here all the way to here and then just goes up and down with the hydraulic. It would be a lot of weight for the hydraulic to push. It's probably not really necessary. And I'm going to tell you why we're going to use that lesson that we learned from last time to just make a flat bridge out here. And I think it looks like these are exactly 2 meters apart. So we want our bridge to go to something like here, maybe, or here. And then only the segment of the bridge that goes from here to here is going to move up and down with the hydraulic, which of course we can anchor on this. So just regular roads first, and good. I think it said that the red car goes first, is that right? Red car hydraulic phase, blue car hydraulic phase. Since both of the blue cars end up down here, we're probably not even going to bother with the second hydraulic phase. There's really no point. Let's just, for completeness' sake, let's just truss this up. And we'll go ahead and throw in our wall brace. And actually, I don't know why I'm doing braces above when I've got all this bracing below. I'm just trying to get all these in compression. Wood is strongest in compression. And just for a giggle, let's see what the stress looks like. Yeah. It's funny. The red car's almost fast enough to like make it without it if we were to say put on a ramp or something. Okay, now let's make the little rocking part of the bridge or raising and lowering part of the bridge. Since the red car is going to go first and the red car needs to end up here, we'll just make a bridge from here to here. And then we'll over truss it, and then we'll make this a joint. You know what? We're actually going to use the path trace tool, because the path trace tool will actually put 2 even segments of road in there, and that'll allow us to make a more symmetrical truss that each of the triangles is as big as possible and therefore as strong as possible. There you go. Okay. And then it's going to pivot here, and this will have to be a joint, and so will this. Let's just start with... Hydraulics can be long, but I'm not sure they can be this long. Oh, they can. Wow, okay. I had no idea. So I don't know if 50% contraction is the right amount, but we'll just run this to see what happens. Basically, I'm not even going to try and set up joints or hydraulic controllers yet. We just want to see if the red car can make it all the way up here. Okay. We will now make this a joint with the J key. Basically, during the remember there's two hydraulic phases. The red car goes hydraulic phase, blue car, hydraulic phase, blue car. But since both of the blue cars end up down here, we're not even going to use the second hydraulic phase. The red car is going to go, the hydraulic's going to lower, then both blue cars are going to go. So right now, we're in this hydraulic phase. See there's a yellow outline around this hydraulic. That means this hydraulic will move in that phase. In this phase, however, we don't want the hydraulic to move. So we click on this hydraulic phase, we click here to remove the yellow outline, and now nothing will even happen during this hydraulic phase. White outline means it does not move during phase D. Let's go back to phase B. So we definitely want this joint to come undone, and then we want the hydraulic to move, but then we also want this joint to lock in. So I think I have to close this for a minute, highlight this and make this a joint, and then let's go back to the hydraulic controller. And during this phase, we want that to uncouple and this to couple in when the bridge comes down. So I think that's okay that both of these are active during phase B. However, during phase D, I don't want either of these to move. I want them to stay where they are, just like I want the hydraulic to stay in the down position. So I think this is exactly what we want here. Let's see what happens when we do this. Oh. So I'm looking at these little grid lines and counting the meters. So this is 0 meters right here. 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meters, 4 meters. So clearly what they intended for you to do, take your hydraulic from here directly up to this joint. Because that's exactly 4 meters. And then you can see when it contracts 50%, it's going to contract exactly 2 meters, which is exactly the 1-2 meters you need to get down here. And now we're going to have to go back into the hydraulic controller and re-look at everything that we looked at before. On this phase, we want nothing to move. So nothing there, nothing on that joint, nothing on that joint. Perfect. On this phase, we want that joint to undo, the hydraulic to act, and then this joint to lock up. I think that's exactly what we have. So I think we kind of lucked out, and it's going to do the right thing by coincidence. But let's go ahead and simulate this and see how it happens. Wow, okay. So let's just go ahead and just make all the triangles bigger. Maybe this will give it the strength that it needs. I'll be honest with you. I'm baffled about what changed since the last time. I don't feel like anything has changed. We are just going to go ahead and put reinforced road in there. And we'll see what happens. Some real butterfly effect going on here. I think they probably expected you to curve this a little bit so that this little ramp right here is not as severe, but we'll see what happens here. Fine. Let it be known I am still significantly under budget. Wow. This is just... I can't even tell you how stupid and obnoxious this is. I just want to see if a slightly gentler curve here will cause this guy not to smack his bumper on this. That should flash yellow and lock in. Yep. I find it ironic that the fast car going up caused more stress on this than the cars coming down. So, that's still $1,600 under budget. And although it's got a lot of high stress, well, let's just see if tweaking this at all can change anything. Okay, maybe this will change something, maybe it won't, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's the impact of that car's bumper hitting that piece of reinforced road that's causing our issues, so... If you were watching the stress meter, there's just that one tiny moment of high stress when the little sports car's bumper hits that. I'm not going to go back through and redesign this whole thing just because there's one tiny little moment of stress there. Let's move along. Now, I believe this is the final level of World 1. And I guess we have a relatively heavy 10 polygram school bus. Short bus. And I'm expecting that because they have anchors down here, and because we have rope and steel, they're probably expecting you to do some kind of a tension bridge type of setup, which I'm more than happy to do. Let's just start by tracing a path, and we'll just fill it in with regular road. And I think, because we have steel, it might be smarter to go and, like, steel out to this third node. Let's just see what happens. I don't know, this is a little goofy. I think maybe we'll do there you go, an underbridge there. And we'll see how this affects budget. This guy right here is completely 100% under tension. Consequently, can absolutely be rope. This is already pretty expensive. You can see we're pretty much at 24.5. That was actually the most expensive part by a long shot. So now we will just do standard Warren truss here. And this is not going to be very expensive. By putting these big supports in here, what we've essentially done is we've shortened the span of the bridge by 3 over here and 3 over here for a total of 6. And now it's only a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 span bridge in the middle. Now, we're well under budget, but I'm not certain that this is actually gonna support itself. You know, the other thing that I'm thinking is, instead of having this under brace and this steel right here, we could just put a rope back to here. So let's just do that for a giggle. I'm honestly not sure that's gonna save us any money, because rope is relatively expensive on a per meter basis. I bitched about this in the previous video. Let's just see what happens here. I don't know. The steel is so strong. It's so fucking strong. But the bus is also rather heavy, so... yeah. So the easy and obvious solution here is just to steal these. And we're so far under budget that there's no reason to even think about doing anything fancier here. Another thing we could do is put ropes all the way under here, put ropes down into the middle, and just... why don't I just show you? Like that. This would allow us to make... essentially what we've got here is 2 little 3-span bridges. So we don't even need that because this node is supported from below. The question now with this kind of a design is, well, obviously it's more expensive than the previous design. So that was only, I think, 30,500 something. But the other thing is, these ropes, these sort of very flat ones, because the tension increases with the angle, these are going to be under a whole lot of tension, and these ropes may break. But we'll find out. So we're not going to do that. That's silly. We're going to go back to what we had before. And just steel up these things in the middle. And I'm going to predict now, this is absolutely going to work. This is so strong. Looks like that topped out at 65% stress. And there we are. We've completed the Pine Mountains. So I think I think I've actually taken 45 minutes worth of recording here. It didn't feel like that, probably because I'm also drinking Mountain Dew. Thank you, Pepsi. So I think I'm just going to stop right here. I think I covered the things that I wanted to cover. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this episode. Really like this design. I know you could totally tweak it, maybe put some wood down in here and do more tension with the ropes, but it's so simple and it's so well suited to the task already. I have no desire. So we're going to call it there. I hope you've enjoyed that. But, oh wow. I'm sorry, I just have to make a quick detour into some of the gallery stuff here because look at some of this stuff. It's so fancy. Wow. Oh, this is neat. Oh, this is really cool too. So notice that this is 44/128, which is a lot. And it looks like you would think that would actually be more efficient, but they ended up having to use more steel. Dun 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 dun. This is page 1? I must have this sorted wrong. Yeah. There we go. That's more like it. So this is really funny. Look at this. They've got the dangly road using road in tension, which road doesn't work in tension. Road is compression. So a lot of these cheap ones, they're just using dangly road and road in tension, so yeah. Here you start to get some actual, like, engineering. Kind of similar to what I did, but they used a muscle or a double joint there. This is kind of cool. I like this. Very well optimized under truss with tension from the ropes. I like this. This is kind of interesting. They did very standard worn truss, but underneath instead of above. You can see it curves up just a little bit in the middle there to handle the stresses. And then muscles or doubled members over here very efficiently. Interesting. I'm just looking for that one that looked like the big red overarch bridge. But with 180 pages, I could be clicking through this for a long time. Let's see. Did we see that in the most recent ones? Let's look at a couple of these just for a giggle. So, this is really cool. You got a very complicated kind of truss going on up here. Now, clearly it's very expensive, but it's also very strong. You got an arch going up and over the top out of steel, and then a bunch of wooden stuff supporting it. Maybe a bit overcomplicated, but certainly works very well. Real nice under supports there. Look how strong that is. And a lot like what I did. Worn truss over top with some under supports, though their under supports are much cheaper than mine. They only use the steel where they really needed it. This is pretty interesting. They got this really cool over-the-top worn truss out of wood, and then just ropes using tension to hold up the rest of the bridge. I don't know why. I guess this underneath stuff under here is so that they only have to put the ropes down in 3 places, and then the weight of the road can be sort of successfully sent back through the ropes, through this triangular truss underneath. And of course, steel supports down here. Let's take a look at the buy cheapest, and then let's look at the last page. Sometimes people put silly stuff on the last page. Now clearly these ones, budget was no object. I don't know. It's like someone made a bunch of, like, wooden stuff that just waves back and forth in the breeze. It's a very interesting art piece. I don't know what that's supposed to be. I mean, they've got this insanely overcomplicated truss up here, and then all this steel just falls out of the sky. I don't know. I don't know, man. Is this supposed to be like a bulldozer or something? I don't know what that's supposed to be. Pop back another page here. there's some weird, weird stuff here. Look at that. I mean, I love the symmetry. I love the pattern. Like, it's got ropes going down to every little node on the bridge. But, geez. Railroad truss, like, square truss. And some of what RCE would call efficient engineering. Lol dongs. We'll get to some more of this on the jumpy part of World 3. There was a place in World 3 where I just couldn't resist adding lol dongs to my level. I'm actually not seeing a lot of RCE propaganda. Sometimes people put RCE, the initials RCE, in the level in hopes that RCE will feature them in one of their videos. Oh, look at the Sierpinski gasket! Oh, that's so cool! If you don't know what a Sierpinski gasket is, I'll put the link to the Wikipedia page down in the description. That's really funny. I like that. It's some kind of like, oh, it's a big bird. Oh, and it's like a 4-bar linkage crane that like throws the bus over. Wow. I mean, dumb as hell, but really cool, really hilarious. Oh look, here's some RCE. RCE propaganda, real civil engineer. Oh, that's interesting. They've got 2 towers, one on either side. And then a bunch of... These look like cables instead of ropes, but I don't think you were allowed to use cables. We weren't allowed to use cables in this, were we? No, there was no cables allowed. Okay, well, whatever. I don't know. Alright. That was the last level of world number 1. Next video, I'll show you some of the stuff I've been working on in world number 3. And in the meantime, I hope that you are staying salty, my friends.